This episode of WisBusiness.com, the show, is brought to you by BMO Harris, White Hirschbeck Dudek, Madison Gas and Electric, and the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Liz Schrum for the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show. Just ahead, Tom Still talks about Governor Scott Walker's decision to keep Reed Hall in charge of the state's premier economic development agency. And Amelia Baxter talks about WholeTrees, a Wisconsin company that has found a forest-friendly way to use round timber for construction projects. First, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report for early February. Rising net farm income. Economists with the UW-Madison say net farm income fell just short of setting records during the past year, despite the challenges brought on by prolonged drought and record-breaking heat. According to the 2012 Status of Wisconsin Agriculture Report, farmers collectively earned $3 billion in net income. That's down from 2011's record year, but up about $1 billion from 2010, when farmers were still recovering from the plunging milk prices that put many operations in the red. And falling, WPS Health Insurance. The company has announced it will cut its workforce by 451 employees due to competitive pressures and contract losses in the federal government contracts market. 250 of the employees losing their jobs are at WPS offices in Madison and Monona, and 201 are in Wausau, WPS told the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. Tom Still is next with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
Governor Scott Walker's decision to keep Reed Hall as the head of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation should be welcome news to the state's business community. Walker announced January 29th that Hall, who had agreed last fall to serve as the agency's interim CEO, was willing and ready to stay on for a longer run. That will provide stability and credibility within an agency where Hall inherited some well-publicized problems, but which has more recently operated with greater effectiveness and accountability. Hall has already brought tremendous experience and credibility to the job. He was the executive director of the Marshfield Clinic for 10 years, running that network of roughly 800 physicians and more than 50 clinics and hospitals. He's also been active in a variety of local, state, and national organizations, including a stint as chairman of the Wisconsin Alumni Association. Few people are better connected and able to help Wisconsin through those connections. Some will ask, what about the search process that yielded 3 qualified but relatively low-profile candidates to succeed Hall? Was that a waste of effort? The answer is no. That process was a necessary step, but process shouldn't stand in the way when there's a chance to keep the right person in the job. Hall has already provided a steady hand and a credible face to WEDC, and he has clearly warmed to what can be a difficult job. Walker was right to keep him in place.
Thanks, Tom. I'll be right back with Amelia Baxter, co-founder and president of WholeTrees in Stoddard, Wisconsin.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
I'm back with Amelia Baxter, co-founder and president of WholeTrees in Stoddard. Thanks for joining us, Amelia.
Good to be here.
WholeTrees uses round timber, actually whole trees, as construction material in place of traditional components, such as steel and concrete. Tell us why that's better for people, who use the material, and the forest.
Well, the fast answer is that WholeTrees commercial structural building systems, when compared to steel structural building systems, are faster, cheaper, stronger, greener, code compliant, and when shown off, very beautiful. A slightly longer answer is that our earliest adopters are choosing us for wow factor, for inexpensive ways to achieve lots of LEED credits, and because we are price competitive with commercial structural steel systems. We are also adding tremendous value to a near waste stream of a managed forest, small diameter timber thinnings, and that's transforming the entire forest economy of Wisconsin, or we hope it will.
WholeTrees is working with the U.S. Forest Products Laboratory to make the process more scalable. Tell us more about that partnership.
Well, in 2007, when we were a startup out of our garage, except our garage was our forest, 134 acres near La Crosse, we knew we were onto something, but it wasn't until the Wisconsin Entrepreneurs Network pinpointed us as eligible for the SBIR research grant funds, that we figured out how we were going to do this. Some of us on the staff are grant writers, so we approached the Forest Products Laboratory with a research outline and a path towards commercialization. We asked, do you have any lead researchers in these areas? And of course they do, because the lab is an amazing national asset. And we started in on a successful phase 1 research grant, phase 2 that we're doing now, and in March we find out about another phase 1 with the Products Lab. We own all our proprietary research, and the Forest Products Lab has a licensing agreement with us that's very favorable to small business, so it's a wonderful partnership for us.
And your state goal is to keep the forest and to make money in the process. What do investors think of that concept?
Well, after pitching regionally and nationally with great accolades, but no deals, I finally started looking at our investor pool like I do our target market. Who's our earliest adopters, and how will we eventually penetrate the mainstream of the investment world? So now we're pitching to investors who understand the plight of forest economies and that the forest economics are struggling. We're pitching to investors involved with rural economic development and investors watching the forest as an asset class. It's becoming a very common investment space in certain circles, but it's not liquid. It's a very long-term investment. We are offering a technology that creates short-term ROIs on long-term investments. It's these investors that keep me pitching weekly through February and into March. And of course, I'd be happy to pitch elsewhere.
Thanks, Amelia, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by BMO Harris, White Hirschbeck Dudek, MG&E, and UW Milwaukee. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent Foot Executive Search. See you next time.